If you're thinking of learning Chinese or you want to learn Chinese, I think this might be helpful. So I have a comment here from Leah who says that she can read Hanzi. By the way, for those that don't know what Hanzi means, it means Chinese characters. So she can read it but not write it. And I just wanted to respond to this because a lot of people learning Chinese are kind of in the same boat. And it really goes down to the other question that I was answering last week about should I learn to write in Arabic to learn to speak Arabic? It's the same thing with Chinese. You don't need to necessarily learn how to write in order to speak the language, and that can be applicable for any language you're learning. I would have to say learning to write and read Chinese characters is the hardest part about learning Chinese aside from, the tones. This is one of the hardest parts. I want you to take a look at your Chinese speaking friends, okay? I want you to really see how often do they write Chinese characters. How often in a year will they have a pen and paper and write any Chinese characters? I don't think they even write that often in Chinese, and you can actually go through life without writing at all. Maybe some do. Maybe, some might write in a card or something or in a restaurant. And if people want to learn to write, that's up to them, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, a lot of time. I personally love writing Chinese characters. I really do. I think it's like therapeutic for me. I haven't written in a long time, but for me, I enjoy doing so. But it depends on the goal of the person, right? If they are taking classes to learn Mandarin or something like that, they're in a university, they're in a college or school where they have classes, those classes will most likely force you to write in Chinese and actually write Chinese characters. But if you're someone who just wants to speak and just wants to connect with people, I don't think it's a necessity personally. I do, however, think that it is important to read Chinese characters. That is what I think is important because reading Chinese characters is essential if you want to do some tourism or if you want to really explore Chinese culture and like the language. Reading is important. Because I'm in North America, I have a lot of ABC and CBC friends. This means American born Chinese, Canadian born Chinese. A lot of them can't even write. Like, honestly, a lot of these first, second generation, a lot of them don't know how to write Chinese characters well. And I actually find a lot of people learning Chinese end up writing better than those that are born here and come from families that do speak Mandarin Cantonese as a native language. So if you aren't learning the language for the sake of a class, if you're learning it for your own interest, I would prioritize the speaking first and foremost. Like I say multiple times, the language is meant to be spoken. For the case of Chinese, I would really prioritize the reading. But then again, part of the reading comes from learning how to write. But if you really want to write all the Chinese characters and have the stroke order and all the like, that requires a lot of time. I think a lot of people that learn Chinese or ABC, American born Chinese or Canadian born Chinese, a lot of these people, although don't know how to write, they can recognize the characters, they can learn to read it after a really long time. Not only that, but there is enough technology on your phone, on your computer, that you don't necessarily need to write in Chinese characters. A lot of native speakers, how they input it on their phone is through what is the name? Pinyin. They don't have to write Chinese characters on their phone. They just simply do a pinyin. My friends from Taiwan, they use something else. It's like pinyin, but their version of pinyin, they have like, I forgot what the name is, but they have something else as well. The only people that I think use Chinese characters to write on their phone are some people from Hong Kong. When I was in university, there was this guy from Hong Kong, and the way he types on his phone is like through the stroke order of the character. So he uses that, but I would say the vast majority that I know use Pinyin to type Chinese characters on their phone. So you don't necessarily need to learn the stroke order and all the how to write all the characters and all that stuff unless you want to. I think there's a lot of value to learn how to write Chinese characters. There really is. Like I said, for me, I kind of find it therapeutic. And if you are one of those people who really want to learn how to write Chinese characters. There is a method to doing so. Maybe I don't have time to talk about it now, but there is a way where you can learn just a few characters per week and slowly learn all of them. But for those who are just learning Chinese for tourism, for basic communication, for traveling, etc., I don't think you need to learn how to write. And the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people are scared to even learn Chinese because of the writing. And that is very much understandable. The writing is hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat, but that should not stop you from learning the language and speaking the language. I'm not here to say writing Chinese characters is a waste of time or anything like that. I'm just saying it is not necessary for speaking purposes. So if you're learning to speak and do fun things with the language and connect with people, you don't need to. The key is the time. If you have the time to do it, please do so. I, at one point in my life, had time to do all this. Not anymore, but when I did have the time, I made sure I learned as many characters as I could. If I were at my point in my life, would I learn Chinese characters? I don't think I would, to be honest, or not learn as many. But I wish you all the best in learning Chinese. If you have any other questions, I'm not a Chinese teacher. I'm just speaking from my own experience in learning Mandarin and trying to learn Cantonese. So there you go.